You know, sometimes the biggest stories in Formula One don't come from a press conference or a flashy announcement. Nope, they come from a single technical leak that blows the lid off a massive crisis. And that's exactly what's happened to one of the most dominant teams on the grid. We're going to break down how this secret got out and what it means for the entire championship.
And it all kicks off with words like these, reportedly coming straight from the team's star driver. Now, when a driver says a car is undrivable, that's not just a casual complaint. That is a massive red flag, a sign that something is fundamentally deeply wrong with the car. It's shaking the team to its very core.
So, how in the world did this internal crisis spill out into the open? It wasn't through an official statement. This was a straight-up bombshell, dropped right in the middle of a Grand Prix weekend thanks to a secret leak.
Okay, so picture this. We're at the Chinese Grand Prix, and the story goes that a VIP guest with a perfect vantage point right above the official FIA weighbridge pulled out a high-quality camera. As the cars rolled through, they allegedly started snapping pictures of the telemetry screens, capturing data that absolutely no one outside the team was ever supposed to see.
So what was on those screens that was so explosive? Well, the leaked data pointed to the heart of the problem, one single damning number that explains pretty much everything. Let's dig in.
This chart right here just lays it all out. You can see their main rivals, teams like McLaren, Ferrari, Alpine. They're all kind of huddled together around that 698 kilogram mark. But then you look at the Red Bull bar all the way on the right. Whoa, it's not even close. It's in a completely different ballpark.
And when you put the numbers side by side, it gets even more stark. The Red Bull car, without the driver, was reportedly weighing in at a staggering 716.5 kilograms. That is a huge, almost unbelievable difference compared to its competition.
So here it is, the number at the center of this whole crisis. When you factor in the driver, Red Bull's carrying about 20 extra kilograms. Look, in a sport where teams will spend millions to shave off a few grams, 20 kilos isn't a problem. It's a mountain.
But why does this one number matter so much? Because in Formula One, weight is, well, it's everything. And lugging around this much extra baggage comes at the heaviest price you can imagine. Pure, unrecoverable lap time.
There's this basic rule of thumb in Formula One. It's like the law of gravity for racing. For every extra 10 kilograms you're carrying, you lose about 0.3 of a second. Every single lap. It's just brutal, unforgiving physics.
So let's just do the quick math here. 20 extra kilos means Red Bull is just giving away 0.6 of a second per lap, purely because their car is too heavy. To put that in perspective, sometimes the entire top 10 in qualifying is separated by less than that. It is a catastrophic disadvantage.
This analogy just absolutely nails it. Seriously, imagine trying to win a 100-meter sprint while you're carrying 2 heavy suitcases. That's basically what Red Bull is asking its drivers to do, lap after lap, weekend after weekend.
Okay, so we've seen the data, we've seen the numbers. But what's the human cost? What does it actually feel like to wrestle a car with this big of a flaw? Well, for a driver like Max Verstappen, it is just infuriating.
You can hear his frustration bubbling over on the team radio. He's described the feeling during upshifts as horrendous. That's a huge tell. It means the car's balance and power delivery are all out of whack because of the extra mass.
And what about in the corners? He says it handles like a boat. Think about that. A Formula One car should be a precision instrument, razor sharp. A boat is, well, the exact opposite. It's clumsy, slow to react, and just can't change direction.
See, this extra weight creates this horrible domino effect. The car just can't get traction coming out of the corners. Because of that, the hybrid system's battery gets totally cooked just trying to make up the difference. So by the time he hits the straight, the car is a sitting duck, totally vulnerable to what Verstappen himself calls Mario Kart-style overtakes. You know, where cars just breeze by with no way to fight back.
You know things are bad when the driver starts making jokes like this. He's apparently quipped about trading in his multi-million-dollar simulator for Nintendo Switch, just so he can practice finding those little speed boosts on the track. It's a funny line, for sure, but man, it speaks volumes about his frustration.
So, the big question is, where does the team go from here? This isn't a problem you can fix with a new front wing. Now, solving a weight issue this massive means they're staring down a long, hard road to get back to the front.
The only way out is what the team is calling a massive mid-season diet. This means they have to go back to the drawing board and fundamentally re-engineer parts of the car, shaving off every single gram they can find. It's an incredibly complicated, expensive, and time-consuming job.
And this timeline really puts it into perspective. This is not a quick fix. The problem blew up in March. They're hoping to get some initial fixes on the car by May in Miami, but their real goal is to be fully back in the fight by the summer. That could be months of racing with a huge handicap.
And in the meantime, it's going to hurt. In the short term, they're looking at some serious pain. The overweight car makes them sitting ducks off the line. All that extra load means their tires wear out faster. And it's putting a ton of strain on a power unit that's already a bit fragile. Which really just leaves us with one final massive question. This team went from being the absolute benchmark to being too heavy to properly compete. Can they shed all this weight in time to save their championship? Or are we actually witnessing the sudden, shocking end of an era? The entire sport is watching to find out.